Hi YouTube. So today we're going to talk about a myth about low carb diets. So what the myth is that if you want to eat a low carb diet, just cut out bread, pasta, cereal, rice, and potatoes.
This is Keto 101, guys.
And that's a myth.
It's a myth. You do have to cut all those things out. That's not wrong. But you also have to cut out vegetables, fruits, things with a lot of sugar, because all those are going to have a high carb count. To be in ketosis, you should be taking in under 50 grams of carbs a day. But you should probably try to aim for like 30, because that'll get you into the good stages.
Yeah, I try to eat like no more than 20, actually. I feel like that's my magic number.
I'm not good at counting yet, but I'll get there. A good way to know how how to seize. And now I want to do it. But if you get keto sticks, you can pee on them and it will tell you whether or not you're in ketosis. And then you can know if you're not, that maybe it's worthwhile reading a few more labels or Googling, how many carbs are in things.
And, don't think that because it's a veggie, it's carb-free, because a lot of veggies have a lot of carbs. Basically, if it tastes sweet, you can't have it. That's kind of the rule that I go by.
Like, you can kind of have carrots, but you probably shouldn't because those are really high. But yeah, if it's sweet, it's a no-go. So that's one myth debunked. You need to cut out all that shit and then some. But you can eat as much cheese as you want, so bam.
Cheese. Love cheese.
The next myth is kind of related to the previous one. It's that your body needs pasta, bread, etc., to get enough nutrients. This is one we're going to call bullshit.
True.
Yeah. There's actually a whole lot of research behind it. A lot of scientists have a problem with the ketogenic diet for reasons I really don't understand, and a lot of their points aren't really that good because one, we didn't have bread before agriculture, and we were still a species. Two, even without carbs, even going beyond the whole bread pasta idea, and not eating vegetables that have carbs and sugar and stuff, also existed in the olden days. The Inuit up in Canada, where we are, lived pretty much only on seal blubber, which is just protein and fat, no carbs, and they were a strong and prosperous people, and they lived in the North Pole. So bullshit.
Oh, here's a good one. If you don't eat whole grains, you won't get enough fiber in your diet. So, I mean, I'm sure that everybody knows that you can get fiber from vegetables.
Mm-hmm. Read a label, people.
Need I say more?
Yeah, and the food without labels generally has fiber in it, so you don't even need to bother with that. A good one is broccoli. It's pretty low carb. It's like 10 carbs per big head of broccoli, which is pretty good. You're not going to eat a whole big head of broccoli to yourself.
But you can.
You totally can.
Because it's only 10.
Yeah. And it's really high fiber.
The myth was that you aren't going to get enough fiber.
Right, yeah. Bullshit.
Cereals are not heart healthy.
Yeah.
In fact, cereals are probably bad for you.
Companies that make cereals, the really rich ones that have a lot of money, spend a lot of money on making you think that they're heart healthy.
My favorite is the fact that they're passing off junk food as breakfast. Come on, people. Chocolate cereal? That's fucking weird.
I know.
I was never allowed to have that when I was a kid.
I ate Lucky Charms every day.
Here's the thing. I wasn't allowed to have, like Nesquik cereals or like Fruit Loops. But I was allowed to have Captain Crunch.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like,
corn pops.
Now I just hate Captain Crunch as an adult.
It's probably a good thing. Probably a good thing. Or like Wheat Thins. Are you fucking kidding me? Those things are coated in sugar.
Yeah. They're really sweet for crackers.
Life cereal, so sugary. Okay, no cereals are good for you ever. And they certainly aren't good for your heart. They may not harm it. I'm not a scientist behind all of it, but they're definitely not like, yay, now my heart's pumping. Your heart was pumping fine before. So what do we say to that?
Bullshit.
Yeah. We're going to continue doing mythy kind of stuff, but this one in particular we got from the Huffington Post Healthy Living. They outlined some good myths for us to get started with.
The article's called Confused About Carbs, 5 Common Myths.
And we'll link to it underneath.
Yay!
Yay!